Welcome, everybody, to Generation Viewpoint. My name is Evan, and this is my dad, Freedom.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
They said good.
They said good.
said
That's
they're
good.
good.
It's good that you guys are doing well. All right, Ev, I want you to tell me, what is your response to this? Close your eyes. All right, now listen. You ready?
Okay. Are you a crying dog?
I'm crying. All
Are you
right.
whimpering?
What kind of response are you having towards that sound right now?
I'm very uncomfortable.
You're very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Now, why are you uncomfortable? Because I was making that little crying, whimpering sound.
Because you were making a little crying, whimpering sound.
Ah, that's awesome. And so I observed something that is on my mind.
Okay.
That we men are at a disadvantage to our female counterparts.
Why is that?
All right, so I'm looking out the window, right?
Okay.
And there's a car stopped at a light, male driver. A car comes up behind it, doesn't stop in time, and rear ends the car in front of him very lightly, like just a little bump.
Yeah.
And it's a female driver. Now, I'm not saying anything about that, okay? We're
Yeah.
going to leave that one alone. The guy gets out of the car, and he's losing his mind. Like he just popped a screw in his brain. Like he is going crazy, right?
Yeah.
He's yelling at the lady, rah, 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 whatever. There's nothing wrong with the cars or anything like that. And he is flipping out. So he's like, boom, and he points over to this parking lot so they could get out of traffic. So they pull into the parking lot, right? And they're right next to, I'm watching them. They're right outside my window at my office, right?
Okay.
They get out of the car. He's yelling, rah, 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 and he comes walking around the car. She gets out of the car, and she says, and he says, oh, are you okay? He went from irate to, oh, are you okay? In an instant. So I make that crying, whimpering sound that she was making, and you feel uncomfortable and think it's strange.
Yeah.
But if I was a female and made that thing, you would become caring and look out for her.
Yeah.
We are at a disadvantage. Who can compete with a crying woman? You can't do it. Right? Is that true or not true?
It definitely is true.
I'm telling you, man. I observed it with my own eyes. I was like, I can't even believe that just happened. But I don't know. So, anyways, don't try crying, I guess is the point of that whole story. I don't know why I just started with that, but it was, I just saw it. And I'm like, what
We
the heck?
started
man?
with my father crying.
I know. So that will never happen again on an episode. Unless.
Well, there's nothing wrong with crying.
What do you mean? Are you sure, though?
There's nothing wrong with crying.
All right. So you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
And you're with a friend, male or female, doesn't matter.
Okay.
And part of the movie in there makes you well up with tear, and you get a little tear on the side here.
Yeah.
Do you honestly say, oh man, I'm crying? Or do you kind of like yawn and rub your face a little bit to try to hide that tear?
I wouldn't hide it.
You would not hide it.
But at the same time, I wouldn't go, oh, I'm crying.
Yeah.
Like, I would just wipe my eye.
Would you be honest that you're crying if somebody's like, Evan, are you tearing up?
Yeah.
Would you be like, yes, I am?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love your honesty.
Well-
I try to hide it.
You got... It,
I do.
it bothers me
Yeah.
that people think that men can't cry.
Yes. Okay.
Because
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Right?
And that it's actually statistically proven that men have a higher suicide rate
Yeah.
because they think that they can't go to someone and cry.
Wow. Is that true?
Yeah. It's statistically proven.
That's interesting. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
But I mean, when I think about it, I guess it makes sense that if you're not able to go to anybody and be honest about what you're feeling, that's a lot of pressure to hold on yourself.
Yeah.
And, in a bad moment, that you could see there's only one way away from that. That is interesting.
So I am 100% for a man crying.
Crying saves lives is the
That's
is
right.
the catchphrase on
That's
that
right.
one.
And there's
Wow.
still going to be people that is that man crying?
Yeah.
Like, what a wimp.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they probably have issues in their life that
Yeah.
they aren't crying about.
Yeah.
And they're not telling anyone, so they have to
Yep.
hold that up. And they're just putting up a facade for people to be like, man, wow, he's a manly man. He doesn't cry.
Yep. You know what tears me up in a movie?
What?
I get caught off guard in movies, and I get a little welled up and teary when I see a guy in whatever role they're doing, and they have success. That chokes me up. Like when they've worked really, really hard and they get to a moment and all of a sudden they have somebody who believes in them and tells them that they believe in them. So like a Rocky movie when Adrian is like, she was against the fighting and then all of a sudden she's like, she believes in him as a man that he needs to do this and she supports him. That makes me well up. Or Rudy Rudiger when he runs on the field. That success after all that work in the movie, to get there, and he runs in, and his dad is in the stands clapping like that. Forget about it. I'm like all choked up every time I see it. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. I mean, there's things that choke me up too.
Yeah,
in movies,
like fuzzy bunnies.
Exactly. You know my weakness.
I love it, man.
No, I don't know exactly what it is. I think what usually gets me is when. Like, for instance, Toy Story.
Yeah.
Okay, I grew up with watching Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
They come out with Toy Story 3. When the toys are about to die, I cried.
Oh, no.
In the theater, I cried. And I think I cried because I had a connection with the toys.
They were your friends almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they were about to die, I was like, this can't be happening. Like,
oh, no.
And then Jesse left, or not Jesse, Andy, sorry, Jesse's the girl doll.
Yep.
Gave the toys and left them. And that felt like he was leaving me.
The betrayal.
Well, not a betrayal, because he had to leave them.
Yeah.
But like he was walking away because he had to go on to the next.
Wow.
Like that just made me cry.
You were wounded from that, weren't you?
I
you can
still
remember
feel it.
Man, Ev, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'll take him out if you need me to take him out. That's it, so, Ev, here's a question for you.
All right.
Besides your Buzz Lightyear doll, if your house is on fire, what would you grab to save first on the way out the door? I know, right?
I would. Man, that's difficult.
Really? It's that hard?
I'd probably. Actually,
okay.
I'm thinking of my room, of the things that are in there.
Yep.
And I think I would grab my ukulele.
Okay.
And my book, Scary Close by Donald Miller.
Not your computer or your camera. You would go for ukulele and Scary Close before camera and computer.
I would.
Wow. I would have never guessed that. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
Why the ukulele in the book over the others?
I don't know. I don't know.
They're special.
They mean.
That's interesting. Wow.
They mean more to me than the material equipment.
I gotcha. All right. I would probably yank the computer off of the counter and take it out the door. Only reason is because in the computer is all of our family photos saved up. So
yeah, we have like 20,000 photos on there.
I know. If we lost, I wouldn't want to lose those. Everything else could be replaced, but those are.
You'd have to get that, like, the hard drive on the back.
Yeah.
Because that's where most of them are.
Yeah. I know,
so get that, not the desktop.
There you
Leave
go.
the desktop.
So, Ev, let's get into something here, a little meaty. All right. So, over the course of the last year, maybe even longer than that, you've embarked on all kinds of different projects and entrepreneurial ways and stretching yourself and doing different things and putting yourself out there, which has been amazing.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm interested in what is it at 18 years of age and experiences in that world, what are some things that you have learned so far being in the entrepreneurial type world?
The biggest thing I've learned is people will surprise you.
Ah, okay. Explain.
When we started the podcast,
Right.
I didn't expect much out of it.
Okay.
I was like, this is going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy doing it, but no one else is going to like it.
Yeah.
And it's going to crash and burn. We'll do probably 5 episodes.
Just for fun.
And then we'll be done.
Yep.
We put it out there, and it exploded.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was, like, commenting, like, wow, I can't believe you're doing this. This is hysterical and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, like, awesome.
Yeah.
And then also with my YouTube channel, I put something out, and I was just like, man, like, I'm not going to get much feedback. And if it is, it's probably going to be like, well, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't expecting anything good to come from it.
Right.
And I put it out and everyone's like, Evan, this is hysterical. Like, please put more out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And different stuff like that. So you turn yourself down more than other people are going to.
That's very insightful. I think it's true. That whole thing that your self-talk, your negative self-talk, you tell yourself you're not good enough more in a day than other people will tell you in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So is that one of the biggest things that you've learned from being an entrepreneur, or you were about to say something else?
Yeah. What I wanted to say was I had a conversation probably like a month ago now with someone, and they were talking about something. And whenever we talk about different things that we're doing, we always say we aren't great because, again, you are your worst enemy.
Right.
No one else is going to judge you the way you judge yourself. So when I was talking to this person, they're like, oh, I'm not very good at stuff. And I was just like, well, like, let me see it.
Yeah.
And I looked at what they were doing, and I was just like, this is amazing. Like, you should do more of this.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, why would I do more of it when I know I'm not going to get farther?
Yeah.
And that it like hurt. Like, it hurt me.
Right.
Because I used to think that way when I was like, well, why would I go and try and do something, start something when I know I'm going to fail?
Right.
And I changed that by trying something and seeing that that's not true.
So you still have those thoughts, though.
Yeah.
But now, despite those thoughts, you still push forward anyways.
Yes.
Right. It's hard to stop the self-doubt.
Yeah.
Right. We're always measuring our worth and are we valuable and are we worth it? And those things will always continue, I think. Right. But pushing through.
Yeah. And like when you look at different people that have succeeded in different areas, you think that they're at such a high level that you look at it and you're like, I can never be that. Like, who am I? I am nothing. Because most people
what do
think,
I have to offer?
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
They look at themselves and they're like I don't have those kind of skills.
Yeah.
Well, of course you don't have those skills right away.
Yeah.
Those people probably worked at it for years in order to get to that. Like J.K. Rowling started out as just someone that enjoyed writing. Like she didn't have a job anywhere. She went over to a different country to try and do something and adventure.
Yeah.
And she wrote this book, and now it is one of the most popular series.
Right.
And there's still stuff coming out from it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still watch all of the Harry Potter films like almost every week. So you can't sit there and be like, I'll never be that. Because if you sit there and say that to yourself, then you won't ever be that.
Right. And
So
you won't try anything to even let yourself have the opportunity.
And people are afraid of failing
yes, they are.
in front of people.
Yeah.
But you need to fail in order to succeed.
Ev, I am so excited to hear you talk this way. That is awesome. I absolutely love it. So along those lines, so if you were sitting here right now, let's say that anybody was sitting right here in front of you, right? And they were like, man, I've got these ideas, but I don't know how to do them, and I don't know if I'm really that good. And you could look them square in the eyes, right? And you could say something to them. What would you say to them?
Can I help?
I love it.
I would,
That's fantastic.
just one sentence. Right?
Yeah. Can I help?
Yeah. And that actually reminds me of the first chapter of, I think it's the first chapter, of Love Does.
Yep.
By
Bob
Bob
Goff. Great book.
Yeah.
Yep.
He dropped out of high school and was like, he went to his friend's house and was like, I'm going out to, I forget where, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to get a job there and stuff. And the guy was like, can you hold on a second? And he ran inside.
And it was going far away.
Yeah.
Like to the mountains somewhere.
Yeah.
Far. Yeah.
And he got his bag and he's like, can I come? And he went with him
Yep.
help him succeed.
Yeah.
And in the end, he didn't succeed with what he wanted.
Yeah.
But still, like it helped him because he had someone there with him.
Yes.
No matter what was going to happen.
Yeah. It's true. And I love that story too. When they come back, they were gone, like a few days, right? 3 or 4 days they had gone out.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 or 3, yeah.
And when they got back, he came to his friend's house, right? Because his friend was the one who drove, I think.
Yeah.
No, rode with him.
No, yeah, he rode with him.
And they came back to the house, and when they're walking into the house, they open up the door, and there's presents all over the place.
Yeah, and there's like a toaster, and he's like, why would you get a toaster for like your birthday?
Yeah, and the guy's girlfriend is there, what he thought was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And come to find out, they had gotten married that day or the day before that he left.
Yep.
And those were all the wedding presents all over.
Yep.
I mean, that's encouraging for us to see that story and say, you know what, no matter what's going on in our lives, when we have an opportunity to help somebody achieve what they can achieve, that's more important than opening our own presents or doing something like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. I love it, man. You got a lot on that one, man.
Yeah.
Boy, a simple question, and we got some really good meat in there. I love that. You know? And I would say to everybody out there who's listening, man, if you want to start something, you want to try something, Evan and I are always up for projects.
Oh, yeah.
And we would love to help you guys. You want to try a podcast of your own? Great. Reach out to us. We'll help you. We even have a studio.
Yeah.
You want to try something else? Great. We're constantly researching new things and learning about new things, and we get excited as everybody when they're talking about, I want to try this. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll drag you to the finish line if you don't want to do it on your So just reach out to us, and we'd love to have that, you know. So I want to ask you one last question here. We don't have much time, but going back to that thing about the negative self-talk, right? So here's a question. How do you react when somebody compliments you?
I feel a little awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been getting a little bit better, but I still, like, if someone is in person and is like I love your whatever, like, you did a great job, I say, oh, thanks.
Yeah. But it feels kind of weird.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah. But yet we want to be complimented.
Yes.
We desire to be complimented.
Oh, yeah.
So why is it that when we are complimented, it feels kind of odd and we don't know what to do or say?
I think it's because in our heads, we're telling ourselves one thing, and it might be negative, and we might be putting words into other people's mouths saying that they think that it's bad.
I see.
So when we hear something like someone say, wow, I like that, and you go, like, really?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to say to that. Like,
Yeah. I'm totally down with you. I think another part of that too is sometimes that uncomfortableness that if somebody compliments you and you're like, oh yeah, thanks, that could be perceived as being big-headed kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, that's right, thanks. You know?
Yeah, that's true too.
Like you're always nervous that you don't want to come off pompous to somebody, but when they compliment you, it's because they mean it. So we should be okay with accepting the compliment and saying thank you.
Yeah.
But it's just that odd thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, just a question. So very good. Well, that's another episode, Ev.
Yeah.
A lot of great meat in there. Man, I love talking to you. So I can't wait to sit down and turn this mic on again. So in the meanwhile, I hope everybody has a fantastic day, and we love being with you. And seriously, we truly do mean it, that if you have an idea, something that you've always wanted to do, and you're nervous, if you're a writer, if you want to do a podcast, if you want to make a product, it doesn't matter. Just reach out to us. We'll do what we can to help you along the way. And we've got a lot of people behind us that will help, and I think we could help you get someplace that you want to go, right?
Yeah.
So in the meanwhile, we can't wait to be with you again. So have a great day.
See ya. Remember, we're on iTunes and Stitcher, and as always, thanks for being awesome.